First of all, your perspective on Ty's shot, where you were, and just what you were thinking in that moment.
I mean, just a great shot by a great player. There's no other way to put it. It's something I think these fans will remember for a long time, and certainly us players will. But at the same time, as great as a shot as it was, we got to move on. And we're on a 3-game road trip here, and we got to take care of business.
Rick talked a lot about just this team being an ecosystem, basically, and it being a lot of the parts being kind of dependent on each other. Obviously, you guys had that 3-game stretch where you struggled without Ty. Is this team not quite as good as it was a year ago at dealing with losing a player or two? And what do you think you guys can do, need to do to be better in those circumstances?
I think a little bit last year we snuck up on teams, whether guys were down or not, and that's not happening this year. So, we just got to be better on both ends, and whoever's playing is playing, and we can't count on guys to be healthy for an 82-game season. That's just not how this league works. So next man up, and when someone goes down, we have to be better.
What do you look back at those 3 games he missed? What bothers you about how you guys operated and functioned in that period?
Just didn't really look like ourselves on both ends. Maybe a little bit too much ISO, and we got guys in this team that can really score the basketball, in isolation. But what we do best is move the ball, and I think we did that well against Milwaukee here, and we have to continue to do that. And certainly when we are locked in defensively, it gets us out and running and do what we do best.
Less than a week ago, you sprained that ankle and it looked bad. How did it feel, and how were you able to so quickly come back to action?
It didn't tickle, I'll tell you that much. It was kind of one of those unlucky things. I sprained it and then tweaked it again a week later. Just trying to work through it and give everything I have to this team.
But Monday you were in about 3 or 4 minutes at a time, and then Tuesday, if I didn't know you'd injured it, I wouldn't know. Yeah. So how did you in that one day kind of get so much better?
I got to give credit to our training staff. I think they're the best in the league, and they got me ready, and I was able to go out there. It was stiff when I first got in, but it warmed up, and I was able to go.
You mentioned going on the road. The start of the year, it was a real struggle on the road. There was a stretch in the middle where it felt like you never lost on the road, and now it's maybe been a little bit of a struggle. What's the dynamic there in kind of recapturing that road magic?
Yeah, I mean, just bringing the fight. I think the belief, like you said, in that part of the season where we weren't losing on the road, we have to have that belief and go out there and bring the fight, like I said, and things will take care of themselves.
Ben Shepherd, when he came in, basically fit in any group right away, and that's continuing to this year. What makes that so possible for you, even beyond maybe just the skills that he has?
I mean, I just think, he's kind of like our Swiss Army knife. He does a little bit of everything, and he's guarding the other team's best player. He's a ball mover. He's making open shots and getting our pace going. So a guy like him, you don't find very often, who can be plugged into any unit and not care about his role, and that's what makes him such a special teammate.
It seems like statistically there's an element to his game where he very rarely messes up. Do you remember any other young guys who even kind of had that element to them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a skill, and he's a guy, like I said, it doesn't look like he makes very many mistakes, but the guy just plays incredibly hard and is a great teammate.
You guys have obviously been pretty devoted to bringing kind of full court man-to-man pressure for a long period of the season now. How have you seen that evolve? How do you think you guys have gotten better at it? How have you seen teams counter, I guess, and what do you feel like you got to do just to maximize it down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something we work on every day, obviously, and we try to bring it out to bother teams that show them that this is the way it's going to be for 48 minutes. So, I mean, I think teams, I'm not going to tell you how teams would counter it, but, they try different stuff, and we've got to adjust there as well.
It seems like they're starting to run actions around half court. You're starting to see more screening there.
Yeah.
How does that kind of force you guys to react? I mean, it seems like they've been able to have some level of success getting downhill in those situations. What do you have to do to counter that when they try that against that pressure?
Yeah, I mean, when you're picking up full court like that and someone's setting a screen that high, there's got to be communication so we can get under and continue to pressure the ball.
Last trip to Philadelphia, you still get excited about kind of going there and playing them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm appreciative of my time there, but me and my family have really settled down here and created a home. So obviously very appreciative, but and it's always nice to go back, but love where I'm at.
Still good after what happened on Tuesday night. What was your perspective on that shot?
I can see too many more shots like that. I think that's just the most miraculous moment. Sometimes you need a miracle to win, and I'm just happy, it happened for a tie. So there's a lot of stuff that's been through this year. I think it was a big moment for him, big for our team morale, and overall good vibes, like you said.
At the same time, some guys just have a knack for hitting shots in those situations, and it seems like Ty's one of those guys.
Yeah, it was a clutch moment. I think he's one of those guys that live for the moment. Once the ball in his hands in those, final seconds of a closing game, and he's proven it time and time again.
At the same point, you got to move on and move past that 3-game road trip. What's the key as you get ready to go on the road for what will be your longest road trip, really, the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's easy to look at Philadelphia and see what's going on with the roster, but it's a team full of guys that are trying to play for the next contract. A team full of guys who may not have got a lot of minutes during the regular season, so trying to prove themselves. So they're an equally dangerous team, and got to be ready for what's going on. We know what's going to be happening in Milwaukee. Coming off the game we just had, and Minnesota's another good team. So taking care of business and positioning ourselves for when we need to be in the year.
Myles, the answer might just be a career of work, but still 3-point percentage is career high this year to this point. Was there something you changed your approach this summer or worked on, or is it just a culmination of something you've always wanted to be great at?
Yeah, that's everything you just said. I worked really hard on my shot, work really hard on my mindset with it. I think post All-Star break, I've just been shooting them, more freely, shooting a lot more than I have in the past, and you shoot the ball more, the ball goes in more. So just continue to get bucks up and continue to be aggressive, behind the line.
Pascal always talked about how much you and him fit together in the front court. When he got here, how much do you feel like that changed your shot diet, or what was available for you?
Yeah, gave me more of a steady diet. Teams got to either double team him or, using the 5 angles to help, and I'm able to kind of get loose to the perimeter or, transition or get loose a little bit more when he's driving and attacking. So some of that helps me, complements his game because it gives the space to work and, space for me to do what I do outside.
Does it give you shots? Usually you get a lot of pick and pop threes, but the fact that he can work in a ball screen too, does that just allow you to shoot from different places, I guess, as well? Because you get that corner three sometimes, when he's on the floor, you don't necessarily take as much.
Yeah, just more opportunities, I would say, just because I see he requires so much attention. When he's operating down there, it's hard to just put one guy on him and single team him, and if you do that, it's kind of a bigger point situation.
How have you seen him not change this year, but I guess kind of enhance his personality? I guess as you've seen him get more comfortable, that he's on a contract here and sticking around. How does he function differently? How does he function as kind of part of the leadership group for you guys?
Yeah, he started to find his voice a little bit more towards the end of last year, especially going to the playoffs as he got more comfortable with this group and this roster. But now that he's here, I think he said it's his home. He said it, when you're home, you're a lot more comfortable just with people around you. So he's using his voice a lot more. He's shooting, phenomenal this year as well, as well as working the inside. So, someone who fit our system, kind of right away when he got here.
I think Rick talks about this team as an ecosystem a lot. I think he was just talking about how this team kind of being very independent on itself and it kind of being shaken up if it loses 1 or 2 guys. Is there something that bothers you about the fact that, last year when you guys lost a player or two, it was sort of easy for you to kind of keep going. This year there's been kind of more struggles when you've been out somebody. What do you think is kind of the issue there? And I guess where do you have to get better when you are a man down?
We're a well-oiled machine. Like you said, I like the term ecosystem. We all depend on each other for all certain types of things, and we all function really well as a unit when we're healthy. I think when guys are going down, you trying to figure out lineups a little more. You're trying to figure out roster and I guess flexibility. So it presents its own challenges. I think the better approach we can take is just strapping in defensively. I'm telling you, anytime you have a guy up or guy down, that's one place you can always hang your hat on. So. I don't mind the difference between up and down because I personally just know how well we do work. We're all oil machine.
Just speaking about defensively, obviously you guys have been bringing that full court pressure all year. It does seem like you're starting to see more teams try to, bring a ball screen high and kind of counter it that way. What's important for you guys in those circumstances when that's how teams are countering your pressure, that's kind of starting their actions around half court?
It doesn't change our approach. I think that, me as a big, I got to be up a little bit higher. Usually the 5 and 7 screens, so present a little more help. But also, if you look at it, speeds teams up more. So if you're getting a high ball screen going downhill, you're getting a shot with like 18, 19 seconds on the clock. And at the end of the day, it's kind of what we want. So. I think it's kind of a big point situation.
I had one final question about Milwaukee with an eye towards Saturday. Giannis, I think, only had 2 points, not many field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. sure Pascal's a big part of that. How does having Pascal help as sort of maybe the first option while it's a team effort slowing him down?
He's a like-sized guy, someone who can pace defensively, so I think that Giannis is going to be extra aggressive than we've seen him playing the past. But I think Pascal did do a good job of just the mano, like front of it all, and just continue to have the trust that guys behind him. So we expect him to be more aggressive, but we'll game plan be ready.
Another 10-day for Tony Bradley. What have been your impressions of him and your center group?
I think Tony's a really good position guy. I think he's someone, he's been, I remember when he was in Chicago the first couple of years, and he's someone that's just going to do all the little stuff right. You know what I mean? Not a lot of it's flashy, not a lot of it's going to, look as sexy as it's supposed to, but that's, someone who can come in here and help us, throw him in there. He's going to board, he's got a good mid-range jumper, someone who can piece defensively, and I just kind of like the way he's able to kind of move guys out the way. So, again, a big position guy, someone that just provides us more depth at the position.